Hey y'all, let me show y'all this delicious meal that I used to make whenever my boys were young, and it was something so quick and so simple and easy. Um, I guess you would call it beef enchiladas, but it's more like a enchilada casserole, I guess you could say. um, so a lot of times whenever I make this, I would use leftover taco meat. I'm not doing that tonight, so I'm going to add in. Let's see, where did my packet go? Oh, right here. I'm going to add in the enchilada packet mix or whatever. But now, if you have leftover taco meat where you've used the taco seasons, that's perfectly fine too. Or you can, if you make them, you can even use this. But these are super good. I wouldn't call them authentic. They're not like what you would get at a Mexican restaurant because I add a lot of cheese sauce and everything on top of them. But let me show you what I've done so far. So I have about 1 pound of ground beef over here that's cooking up, and I haven't drained this yet, but I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on some of this enchilada seasoning. Now, not all of it, because we're going to have to kind of drain this a little bit, but just a little bit so it can kind of cook in there with the ground beef. Just give that a good mix, let it continue cooking because it's not done yet, and then we'll get all this grease out and we're going to add some more of that in. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and melt our cheese. So right here, I have about just a little bit of cream cheese, you can see. And you don't even have to add this. Any cheese will do, whatever kind you want. So I'd say that's maybe about an ounce of cream cheese. And then I have some Velveeta here. So so I have this whole pack. And what I did was, for the Velveeta, I'd say about that much, because I'm making a small amount. Now, if I was making a big 9 by 13 dish like I used to do, I would probably use more, up towards like half a pound, okay? But tonight I'm using about this amount, okay? So now what I'm going to do is just chop that up too and put it in our little cup here, and we're going to melt this in the microwave. You could do it on the stove top too if you want, but it works really well in the microwave. Let's see. Okay. Wipe my hands off. So we have our cheese here. Just a little bit of cream cheese, a little bit of Velveeta. And now what we're going to add is a little bit of salsa. Okay. So I'm thinking, I don't know. Let me get y'all down here so you can kind of see how much I pour in. Now this is the chunky kind. That's just kind of what I choose to do. Let's see. That's maybe about 1/3 of a cup, maybe up to a half a cup. So now what I'm going to do, y'all, is just pop this in the microwave and melt it. Hang on, let me fix this. Sorry, y'all. And melt it. And this is going to make a delicious cheese sauce that we're going to pour over the top of our enchiladas. So what I'm going to do is just let my ground beef finish cooking, and then I'm going to drain the grease off of it. I'm going to get this heated up, and then whenever I come back, I think we will be ready to fix up our enchiladas. Okay, y'all, let me just show you this really quick. A lot of you may be familiar with it, but some of you may not. So this was a ground chuck, and so it didn't have much grease. And so all I did was I took a paper towel and just run it around through here like this. And so now you can see that gets up all of our grease. And so I'm just going to toss that away. And then now I'm going to add back in some more of our packet here. Now I may not do this whole pack just because I'm doing a small amount. But if you were doing more than this, you would definitely want it. You could use the whole package, okay? So this is probably, let's see, probably about 3/4 of the package. And you know, I sprinkled in a little bit a second ago while our ground beef was cooking. I just like to do that because it really adds a little bit of extra flavor to it. So now what I'm going to do is just pour in a little bit of water, just like you would if you were making taco meat. okay? Not much. That's probably about fourth to half of a cup or so. So now what I'm going to do is just turn this up a little bit. I'm going to let this slow cook and let all of those seasonings and spices and everything cook in there real good, and then I'll come back and show you what we're going to do next. Okay, y'all, so I ended up adding a little bit more of our seasoning mix in here. I tasted this ground beef and it wasn't quite as flavorful as I wanted it, so just taste it as you go to know how much you need to add. So let me show you our next step. So I have our cheese sauce out here. This is just our little bit of cream cheese, our Velveeta, and our salsa. It's melted up really good. And so now what we're going to add to this is a little bit of sour cream. Now, if you want to do milk, you can. Just something that will help kind of thin out that cheese a little bit so it's not so thick. I like to do sour cream, but you can do milk too if you want to. So I'm thinking about however much that is. That's probably about a fourth of a cup, because not all that's going to come off the spoon. So we're going to mix that in and see kind of where we're at. It just really helps to thin out the sauce, and it helps give it a great flavor. Okay, now to our meat mixture over here, we are going to add in a little bit of our salsa, like that we put in our cheese mixture. Let me get a spoon out. So I'm thinking of around about half a cup for this. Let's see. Yeah, it's probably enough. And again, this all depends on how much you're making. So just put a little bit of salsa in, give that a good mix. I can do a little bit more. Okay. Yep, that looks good. So now we're just going to let this sit here, simmer for a little bit and hang out. Our cheese, let's see. I may do a little bit more of our sour cream because I don't want it to be thick. You know how sometimes you get into some cheese and it's so thick, it's like it almost chokes you. And Velveeta is bad for that if you don't thin it out with something. Yeah, that's perfect right there. Y'all see our sauce? That looks really good. So I may pop this back in the microwave for just a few minutes here in a second, just to make sure it's good and melted before we use it. But that looks really good. It has our salsa in there. This is good for a dip too, y'all. So if you have you some chips while you're waiting, just go ahead and have you a bite or two. But anyway, so I'm gonna let our meat sauce here hang out real quick, and whenever I come back, we're gonna put these enchiladas together, and I'll tell y'all what, they are delicious. Okay, y'all, we have our little assembly line here, so I'm gonna show you how I like to do the enchiladas. So first thing is, I have 10 tortilla wraps here. I wrap them up in a damp paper towel, just dampen the paper towel, and then just wrap it around them and heat them up for maybe 30 to 45 seconds, depending on how many you have. This is going to help them roll up a lot easier. Now, if you want to use corn tortillas, you can. I prefer to have the flour. Okay, so when you do that, and so see, now they're going to wrap up really good without cracking and all of that. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, I have some enchilada sauce here. This is just a little small can because I don't use too much of this, just a little bit. All right, so we're going to pour some in there, and then we're going to pour just a little bit on the bottom of our dish here. I sprayed this just that way the sauce wouldn't stick to it as bad. Okay, so pour a little bit in the bottom of your casserole dish. Now this is a smaller one. I think maybe what size is this one? Let's see. I can't see. This is an 11 by 8. So now if I'm making a lot, I do my 9 by 13. So this is just a smaller amount. So first thing you're going to do, take your enchilada, dip it down in your bowl here. I poured a little bit of that enchilada sauce in my bowl. Dip it down in there, just like that. Okay, put it over here in your dish, and then you're gonna get a good spoonful of your meat out. Your meat and your salsa, okay? I usually like to get out one of these tablespoons, because a spoonful like this is pretty much the perfect amount that you're gonna need. Oh, I didn't open up my cheese, okay? And then I'm going to take a little bit of just shredded cheese and put over the top, okay? And then we're just going to wrap it just like that, and then flip it over and put the seam side down, just like that. All right, I'll show y'all one more, and then I will finish these, and we'll come back. So take your flour tortilla or corn, whichever one you want. Do it just like that, down in your sauce. Get out a good spoonful, I'd say about this much of a tablespoon, and then just spread it out like that. That comes out to be a good even amount. Sprinkle some cheese over, wrap it like that, and then turn it over and lay it in your dish just like that. Okay, let me wipe this off my hands, because once you start this, your hands are going to be like that until you get done. So what I'm going to do now, y'all, is I'm just going to finish up doing all these, get them placed in our dish here, and I'll come back and show you our next step. Okay, y'all, I have all of our enchiladas wrapped up really good. We had just a little bit of meat sauce left. Not much, as you can see, just a tiny bit. So let me get a different spoon. I want to scrape this up. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to take that little bit that's left over. We're certainly not going to waste it. Just spoon it down on the sides like this. And then that way, whenever you scoop out your enchilada, you can get a little bit of extra ground beef, because some is going to cook out on the ends anyway. So just put that down in there, just like that, or even over the top if you want to. I usually just put it down on the sides. Okay, y'all, these smell so good. I've not had these in so long, I cannot wait. I know I say that about so many things, but that's what's so great about me cooking for y'all, is like I can cook so many things that I haven't cooked in forever. So I love it. Okay. So now we are going to take just a little bit of this sauce and drizzle it over the top. Not much, because, you know, or you can do all of it if you want. You don't even have to put a cheese sauce on it. I just prefer a cheese sauce. So I'm putting just a little bit over it, just like that, as you can see. And then now we're going to take our Velveeta sauce that we made with a little bit of cream cheese, the Velveeta, the sour cream, and you want it to be a good consistency like this. That's where that sour cream comes in handy. It really helps the texture of it. Okay, so now we're just going to drizzle some of this over the top. Let's see, just like this. That looks good. I know this looks like a messy dish. It is a messy dish, but it is delicious. Okay, and I have a few green onions here that I'm just going to chop up to go on top of this, just to help garnish it. Now, I know this is not an authentic Mexican dish, but this is just one of those little things that I threw together one night whenever I had some leftover taco meat, and y'all, it has been a hit ever since. Okay, so here it is. This is our little enchiladas, and all I'm going to do is pop this in the oven. I have it set on 375. I'm going to pop it in there just until everything is good and bubbly. I'm not sure how long, but I'll let you know whenever I come back. Hey y'all, okay, our enchiladas are done, and I tell you what, they look so good. Let me show them to you. Get this off of here. Look at those. Don't they look so good? What I did was I cooked these on 375 for about 30 minutes. And again, that just kind of depends on how many you have and just your preference. So I'm gonna try to get some of this out. They're still crazy hot, but let's see. Let's go in right here. I just don't want to dare one all to pieces. So I'm trying to think. Alright, so let me see if I can separate those two, and that's what I'll get out. Alright, let's go for it. Well, let's pull in that one. Let's see. Hang on. I'm just going to have to cut down like this. Just separate them. It's too hard to tell all that cheese on there. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay. Get out our extra stuff that we lost there. Y'all will love these. Your kids will love these. These are so, so good. Alright. Ooh, so hot. And now you can serve these with whatever you want on top. So let me show you what I like to do. I like to do a little bit of sour cream. Well, maybe a lot of it. I love sour cream. So I just put that on there, kind of like that. And I like a little bit of extra salsa. So I'm going to get some of that out. Let's see here. Just spoon some down through there like that. Okay. And then I like to make up these little, now this is just something that I make up all the time. It is tomato, onion, and then I put in a little bit of oregano, basil, parsley, salt, and pepper. So I know, not really Mexican style at all, but this is just a really good garnish on so many different things. I put this on my tacos a lot of times, but it's just really, really good, and it just a little something extra. So I'm going to sprinkle some of that. Now, of course, if I had like cilantro and all that, I'd love to make a pico, but I didn't have any. And of course, avocado would be great with this. Just anything you want to have will be perfect. Okay. So here is what mine looks like. Now we're gonna try this. Ooh, it's so hot, hot, hot. But it's smelling so good. And like I said, I've not had this in so long, I cannot wait. And y'all, if you see behind me here, I know I posted a picture earlier. I got my other tree up. This is Braden's Alabama tree. I know you can't see it really good from here. But I plan on doing another video with all my trees. And I'm going to explain a little bit about each one. And about some of the things that I did to come up with some of the decorations that I did. So that will be coming up once I finally get them all done. I still have to do Bella's tree. I have to go tomorrow and do some shopping and find the stuff for her tree. But I'll definitely share it with you, whatever I decide and come up with. Y'all, these are so good. You could put lettuce on top of these. You could put anything that you want to serve these with, but these are so good. That mixture of the red enchilada sauce, and then the cheese sauce too. So good. So, and that good seasoned ground beef, and then the sour cream on top, if you like sour cream. It is delicious. Y'all will love these. Y'all have got to try these. You see, I cannot quit eating it because it's so good. One of my favorite little quick and easy dishes, y'all. Now, so there's Bella over there. Oh, she's perked up now. She was laying there asleep. You see her? You want to bite, Belle? Anyway, y'all, y'all try these. Let me know what you think about them, and I will see y'all next time. Bye bye.